Luke chapter 9. And having called his 12 taught ones together, he gave them power and authority over all demons, and to heal diseases. And he sent them to proclaim the reign of Elohim, and to heal the sick. And he said to them, Take no matter at all for the journey, neither staffs, nor bag, nor bread, nor silver, neither have 2 undergarments. And whatever house you enter, stay there, and go out from there. And as for those who do not receive you, when you go out of that city, shake off the dust from your feet as a witness against them. And going out, they went through the villages, bringing the good news and healing everywhere. And Herodes, the district ruler, heard of all that was done by him, and was perplexed, because it was said by some that Yohanan had been raised from the dead, and by some that Eliyahu had appeared, and by others that one of the old prophets has risen up. And Herodes said, Yohanan I have beheaded, but who is this of whom I hear such reports? And he was seeking to see him. And the emissaries, when they had returned, related to him all that they had done. And he took them, and they withdrew by themselves to a city called Bethsaida. And when the crowds knew it, they followed him. And having received them, he was speaking to them about the reign of Elohim, and healed those who had need of healing. And as the day began to decline, the 12 came and said to him, Send the crowd away, that going into the surrounding villages and country they might lodge and get food, because here we are in a lonely place. And he said to them, You give them to eat. And they said, We have no more than 5 loaves and 2 fishes, unless we go and buy food for all these people. For there were about 5,000 men. And he said to his taught ones, Make them sit down in groups of 50. And they did so, and made them all sit down. And taking the 5 loaves and the 2 fishes, having looked up to the heaven, he blessed and broke them, and gave them to the taught ones to set before the crowd. So they all ate and were satisfied, and 12 baskets of the broken pieces were picked up by them. And it came to be, as he was alone praying, the taught ones were with him, and he asked them, saying, Who do the crowd say that I am? And they answering said, Yohanan the Immerser, but others Eliyahu, and others say that one of the old prophets has risen up. And he said to them, And you, who do you say I am? And Kepha answering said, The Messiah of Elohim. And strictly warning them, he commanded them to say this to no one, saying, The Son of Adam has to suffer much, and to be rejected by the elders and chief priests and scribes, and to be killed, and to be raised the 3rd day. And he said to them all, If anyone wishes to come after me, let them deny himself, and take up his stake daily, and follow me. For whoever wishes to save his life shall lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake shall save it. For what is a man profited, if he gains all the world, and is himself destroyed or lost? For whoever is ashamed of me and my words, of him the Son of Adam shall be ashamed, when he comes in his esteem, and in his Father's, and of the set-apart messengers. But truly I say to you, there are some standing here who shall not taste death at all, till they see the reign of Elohim. And it came to be, about 8 days after these words, taking with him Kepha and Yohanan and Jacob, he went up to the mountain to pray. And it came to be, as he prayed, the appearance of his face changed, and his garment dazzling white. And see, 2 men were talking with him, who were Moshe and Eliyahu, who having appeared in esteem, spoke of his death, which he was about to complete at Jerusalem. But Kepha and those with him were heavy with sleep, and having awakened, they saw his esteem, and the 2 men standing with him. And it came to be, as they were parting from him, Kepha said to Yeshua, Master, it is good for us to be here, and let us make 3 booths, one for you, and one for Moshe, and one for Eliyahu, not knowing what he said. And as he was saying this, a cloud came and overshadowed them, and they were afraid as they entered the cloud. And a voice came out of the cloud, saying, This is my Son, the Beloved, hear him. And when the voice had spoken, Yeshua was found alone, and they were silent, and reported to no one in those days any of what they had seen. And it came to be on the next day, when they came down from the mountain, that a large crowd met him. And see, a man from the crowd cried out, saying, Teacher, I beg you, Look at my son, for he is my only child. And see, a spirit seizes him, and he suddenly cries out, and it convulses him with foaming, and scarcely leaves him, bruising him. And I begged your taught ones to cast it out, but they were unable. And Yeshua answering said, O generation, unbelieving and perverse, how long shall I be with you and put up with you? Bring your son here. And as he was still coming, the demon threw him down in convulsions, and Yeshua rebuked the unclean spirit, and healed the child, and gave him back to his father. And they were all amazed at the greatness of Elohim. And while all were marveling at all that Yeshua did, he said to his taught ones, Lay up in your ears these words, for the Son of Adam is about to be delivered into the hands of men. But they did not understand this saying, and it was veiled from them, so that they did not perceive it. And they were afraid to ask him about this saying. And a reasoning arose among them, who might be the greater of them. And Yeshua, having seen the reasoning of their heart, took a little child and placed him by his side, and said to them, Whoever receives this little child in my name receives me, and whoever receives me receives him who sent me. For he who is least among you all, he shall be great. And Yochanan answering said, Master, we saw someone casting out demons in your name, and we forbade him, because he does not follow with us. But Yeshua said to him, Do not forbid him, for he who is not against us is for us. And it came to be, when the days of his taking up were being completed, even he set his face to go to Jerusalem, and he sent messengers ahead of him. And they went and entered into a village of the Shomeronim to prepare for him. And they did not receive him, because his face was set for the journey to Jerusalem. And his taught ones, Jacob and Yochanan, seeing it, said, Master, do you wish us to command fire to come down from the heaven and destroy them, as also Eliyahu? But having turned, he rebuked them and said, You do not know of what spirit you are, for the Son of Adam did not come to destroy men's lives, but to save them. And they went on to another village. And it came to be, as they journeyed on the way, that someone said to him, Master, I shall follow you wherever you go. And Yeshua said to him, The foxes have holes, and the birds of the heavens nest, but the Son of Adam has nowhere to lay his head. And he said to another, Follow me. But he said, Master, let me first go and bury my father. And Yeshua said to him, Let the dead bury their own dead, but you go and announce the reign of Elohim. And another also said, Master, I shall follow you, but let me first say goodbye to those in my house. But Yeshua said to him, No one, having put his hand to the plow and looking back, is fit for the reign of Elohim.